Hi everyone, in this video we're going to look at rearranging the subject. So we'll go through a few examples of trying to rearrange the subject into something else. Now this is a very useful tool or skill to have, as it can help you in many different topics. Okay, so again with this video, what I'd like you to do is pause it before an example to have a go and see if you can solve that particular problem. So with example 1 here, I need to express b as the subject of the formula a equals h over 2 brackets a plus b. So I need to try and move this to begin with, because this is all multiplying by what's inside the brackets. So before I can open the brackets up, I want to remove this. Now I'm going to try with that 2 to begin with, and to get rid of that, the opposite of that is multiplying both sides by 2. So that will give me 2a equals h brackets a plus b. Okay, now I'm after that h, I want to move that to the other side. Now at this point, it's h multiplied by what's inside the brackets. So therefore, I'm going to divide both sides by h. That will look like 2a over h on the left equals a plus b. We can remove the brackets now because there's nothing else to multiply. And finally, I need to move that a to the other side. So I'm going to subtract a to both sides. And that will look like 2a over h minus a equals b. Or rewriting that, b equals 2a over h minus a. Okay, let's have a look at our second example now. So with this one, we need to rearrange the equation e equals mc squared plus p to make c the subject. So this one's a little bit more complicated because we've got c squared. But again, I'm going to try and remove the p and then the m. And to begin with, I'm going to start with the p. So I might rewrite my equation. E equals mc squared plus p. So I'm going to remove the p to begin with. So to do that, I need to subtract both sides by p. So I'll still be left with mc squared e minus p. Now, to remove that m, I'm going to divide both sides by m. So that'll equal e minus p all over m is equal to c squared. Now I need to get c by itself. So the inverse of squaring something is to take the square root. So I need to take the square root of both sides. But you've got to remember, it's going to be plus or minus, and I'll explain why that's the case in a moment. So therefore, c is going to equal plus or minus the square root of e minus p all over m. The reason it's plus or minus is if I have, let's say I had minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, that's going to give me 4. And if I had 2 multiplied by 2, that's also going to give me 4. So therefore, when I take the square root of 4, I need to say it's going to be plus or minus 2 because I don't know which one I started with. Alright, let's have a look at the final problem now. So example 3. Which of the following correctly expresses Q as the subject of E equals IR plus Q over C? So it's a multiple choice question. So pause the video here. Try and identify which is the correct solution. Okay, I'm going to rewrite that to start with. E equals IR plus Q over C. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and get rid of the IR. So I'm going to move that to the left hand side. So I'm left with Q over C, and to do that I'm going to subtract IR to both sides. Okay, when I'm working through these, I try and line up my equal signs below so it's easier to read and to follow. Now, final step, I need to move that C to the other side. So I'm going to multiply both sides by C. That'll equal Q, so it'll be C or Q equals C E minus IR. Now we can look if one of those is a solution, and it's not, so I might expand out. Q equals CE minus CIR, and if I have a look there, it looks like it is going to be the second one. So the solution is going to be B.